Let's talk about information equals power. You know you want the information. Let's talk about how do you get the information. And this is where we're going to go over open and closed questions. Now it's really interesting. With all the 300 plus people that I have personally employed during my career, when we get to do the sales training and I get to this section, I always say to them, so tell me, have you been trained in open and closed questions before? Which is a closed question. And they'll go, yeah. And I'll say, how regularly do you use it? And they'll say, all the time. And I'll say, great, let's do some role play. And we'll start doing some role plays where they are the salesperson and I'm the customer. And what I get them to do is quite simply get them to ask me questions. And I'll get them to say, okay, you work in a surf store and I come in to buy a surfboard. You work in an appliance store and I come in to buy a washing machine. You work in a pen shop and I walk in to buy a pen. And 90% of them immediately turn around and say, oh, but I don't know anything about surfboards, or I don't know anything about washing machines or pens. And the point is, you don't need to. You're in sales. You need to know how to use open and closed questions to gather information so that you can have power and add value to the customer's sale. So, just say you did work in a surf shop and I did walk in to buy a surfboard. What questions would you ask me? Well, they'd probably be qualifying questions. How much do you want to spend? When do you want the surfboard by? Who's the surfboard for? We might not even get to that point. But after a short period of time, you find that these experienced salespeople run out of questions. If you are an experienced salesperson, you can sell anything. You have the selling skills to be able to sell anything from a surfboard to a jumbo jet. And you know that because you know how to use open and closed questions properly. So, I know when I started this, some of you, I could just imagine you sitting there, you're going, oh, open and closed questions. This guy's an idiot. He's training us in the basics. Well, maybe if you went through the same role playing, you'd realise that maybe your open and closed questions usage isn't that sharp. So let's start off by talking about what is an open question. An open question is one that you can't say yes or no to. It'll start with 6 basic words. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. That is an open question. A closed question is one that you can say yes or no to. And it will start with basic words like if, or could, or did, or will. And the customer will be able to say yes or no. Closed questions are good for closing. If I could deliver it by Friday, would you be able to take delivery? Yes, fantastic. No, why not? And then we go back to using an open question to gather more information so that we can identify and satisfy the customer's needs. So many salespeople have said to me over the years, whether I've been interviewing them or whether they've been working for me, I know all about open questions, but they don't use them. So let's talk about Buddha. This is my favourite. One of Buddha's sayings is to know and not to do is not to know. So the last time, think about this, the last time you went in and you were face to face with a client, how many open questions did you ask? The last time that you got on the phone to find out some information from a prospect, how many open questions did you ask? The last time you were sitting in front of a client and you were doing a needs analysis to define the problem that they had and figure out how much pain they had, how many open questions did you ask? You see, open questions get used in every single part of sale. Whether you're prospecting, whether you're doing a needs analysis, whether you're doing a customer follow-up, whether you're closing, they are used absolutely everywhere. But you've actually got to use them. The next email that you're going to receive from me will have, quite simply, a project for you to do. What are the 6 top open questions that you're going to ask a client every single time? And these could be things like Who is the appropriate person? When do you need this product delivered by? What problems are they causing within your manufacturing facility? How is this going to help your organisation? Who else is involved in the decision-making process? Why don't you purchase this from someone else? They go on and on and on and on. If you can make sure that this becomes a habit, this is something that is tattooed in your brain, that closed questions do not come out of your mouth until you're ready to close, then by using open questions, you'll start getting information. And that information will give you power. And then you'll be able to satisfy your customers' needs profitably and make them happy. And that'll make you happy too. Let's move on.